It's time for the Brouhaha Sports Show. Brouhaha Sports with award-winning sports writer Dale McKee and co-host Marshall Wood. Talking sports with the legends of the game and famous sports personalities. Brouhaha. Now to Marshall and Dale with tonight's guest.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to tonight's edition of the Brouhaha. Marshall Wood and Dale McKee hooking it up once again to talk a little sports and, as Andrew Griffith would say back in the day, and who knows what all.
Really?
Yeah.
What would Gomer say?
Golly, Shazam or something like that.
Shazam?
Yeah.
He could sing though, couldn't he?
No, but Barney could.
Which one's from Alabama, Gomer?
I don't think Gomer's from Alabama.
I think he was.
Huh. Did he have a banjo on his knee?
Maybe left knee, right knee.
I think it'd be the left knee.
Okay. He might have.
He come from Alabama with a banjo on his knee.
We need to check on that during the break.
Yeah, we'll check on that.
We'll see Gomer. I think he's from Alabama.
Gomer's from Alabama?
Yeah, that's why he was, kind of unusual.
Tuscaloosa?
I don't know if he was that high up,
Mulry?
Yeah, Mulry would be a great place. Mulry, Fruitdale, yeah.
I like Mulry.
Yeah, I like Mulry too.
They got a nice Christmas show over there.
They do, and they got a big flag.
They do have a big flag.
They got a big flag.
Maybe that's what we need, is a big old flag.
Somebody needs one.
Somebody needs one.
Yeah.
I got a bell.
There you go.
Hear that?
Oh, yeah. We'll be hearing them all weekend. Don't go to Hattiesburg.
Everybody go to Hattiesburg. You're going to be hearing that this week. You're going to be hearing that this weekend. How like the new sound effects I'm bringing to the show? How you like that?
I have no comment.
We spared no expense
comments
on providing the first class listening experience, and we got sound effects and everything.
Okay.
We go at it. Who's you got anything, you're studying something mighty hard there. What you looking at?
Well, I got some questions for our guest tonight.
Oh, what they go?
Well,
what you ask him?
He's supposed to be a college football expert. We're gonna find out. He gets a test today.
Oh.
Kind of like a 9 weeks test.
Yeah, kind of like all these football players in the NFL have been getting for the past couple of 3 weeks. Getting a test. I guess all that's over with now, isn't it? They cutting the rosters back?
Yeah, but there'll still be a lot of changes. They got to have a 53-man roster. It was supposed to be this afternoon. Isn't today Tuesday?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, 53-man rosters today at 3 o'clock. So they were supposed to have it, but now it will change because people will start trading and signing free agents and cutting people they have. It just depends on who is available.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there'll be some pretty good, decent players out there that'll be
available.
Yeah.
Are you available, Dale?
Yeah, I did look at the roster this morning of the Miami Dolphins just to see what was going on, and they've got a guy from Waynesboro that's listed as #1 defensive tackle.
Is Obadino #1?
Yeah, he is the old depth chart. Yeah. Well, he was #1 for a lot last year in their 4-3 defense.
Yeah.
So anyway,
he's done well for himself. What's his 5 or 6 years? 6 coming up.
I think this will be 6.
So that means he's tied in with the vested with the retirement program.
Well, he should be. He should be. Now I don't think they get that till like they're 55 or something.
They don't.
But not sure about that. But I assume he is. Now the first couple of years he was on the practice squad and all that kind of stuff. So I don't know how all that works, but he should. Hopefully, we only wish the best for the big old boy because he's a good kid.
He is a fine man. He really is.
He's a hard worker.
Oh, I'll tell you what, and he was we had a lot of fun when he was wearing that blue and orange. Blue and orange up there at the county. Now he was fun to watch, and you can always use a couple like that, huh, Dale?
Yeah, I'm sure some of my friends, like Buddy Duke, told me one time, Wayne County beat Laurel in the South State Championship the year Wayne County won the state championship, 2016.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, well, I thought I had it figured out, I had 2 guys on him to start with, then I got up to 3, and that wasn't working.
He ran out of guys, didn't he?
And he said, then I said, well, if I put anybody else up there, who's going to block the other 2 or 3 guys, you know? So I think old Parrish Evans had a heck of a game.
Oh, have we talked about our guest?
No, we haven't talked about it.
Do we have a guest?
We're going to give him a test.
Oh, we're going to give our guest
His
a
name
test.
is Sean Winesley. He's former Laurel Leader Call sports writer for like 20 years, and he's been at Jones the last probably 15 or so years.
Okay.
Maybe longer than that.
Okay.
Maybe even close to 20. But anyway, he's going to be our guest. He's just going to answer some football questions,
Well, good.
college football questions.
Do you have some questions, Dale? Because
Oh,
I
I've written them down.
have I got some questions?
I'm prepared.
Listen, folks ought to see this list. It just fell out. It's covered up the floor. My goodness. Well, I'll tell you what. We got to take a break and hear from our sponsor so we can get back and get down to this question going on now. Listen, now that's an Ole Miss man holding a cowbell. I don't know. This may not work out very well. But anywho, let's take a break and hear from our sponsor, and we'll be back with tonight's guest right after this commercial.
Phillips Building Supply in Laurel, your hometown building supply store since 1954. We are locally owned and pride ourselves on helping our customers find exactly what they need. From foundations to roofs to doors and windows, Phillips has it. For tools, hardware, lumber, and plywood, visit Phillips Building Supply.
Well, Sean, welcome to the show. This is an exciting week, the first weekend of college football, or really the first week. I assume they're going to start playing on Thursday night, some of them Friday night games, Saturday night games, Sunday night game, Monday night game. They're just taking over the weekend college football. And I know that the place that you were at, Jones, is going to be all the junior colleges are getting ready, and all the public and private schools will have a really good first regular season games this weekend too. So it's that time of year, and it was had a little cool brisk in the air this morning.
Ooh, that was nice.
Getting ready for it. So anyway, well, listen, I'm just going to ask you some random questions, and I think most of them that you can answer without any problems. All right. So if you look to the shoe, as they call it, up in Columbus, Ohio this weekend, what are your thoughts on Ohio and Texas? Now, they both have kind of breaking in quarterbacks to a little bit. Ohio State's got probably not as experienced as Arch has, but what are your comments about that ball game?
Well, it should be a close one. I think Ohio State's a slight favorite, even though I think Texas is number one in the nation in the preseason poll, which doesn't mean a lot. From what I've read and seen, I don't look for a lot of points to be scored in that game. I think, I think Texas is having to rebuild a little bit across the offensive line, and Ohio State lost some great players from last year as well. As you mentioned, the quarterback situation with Arch and the new starter at Ohio State. It's going to be a tough game for Texas to go in there and win, I would think. I don't look for a lot of points to be scored, and it's going to hard to beat the Buckeyes up there, defending champions and everything. But I look for a close game, and I think Ohio State will probably take it. But some guys around here I know, they lean the other way. They really like the Longhorns, and I guess if you look at NIL money, I think Texas by far has spent the most money on their roster from what I've read of anybody in the nation. It's like they're number one, and there's a big distance between them and whoever's number two.
Okay. All right. Listen. What about the two elite conferences? Who do you think is going to be the favorite in the? I mean, not the favorite. Who do you think is going to come out the winner of the SEC and Big Ten championships?
Well, last year the Big Ten certainly held the edge over the SEC last year. They pretty much owned the conference matchup between the two. As far as this year, I still think Ohio State and the Big Ten would be the team to beat. They're always going to have a lot of personnel, and Texas, Georgia, and Alabama, I think, are going to battle it out in the SEC. I think Georgia will be tough to beat. They're always going to have great players there. So right now I'd say Ohio State and Georgia, but I look for Alabama to have a pretty good year. Hearing a lot of good things about them, especially along their lines of scrimmage. They're supposed to be really strong on offense and defense, defensive lines. Supposed to be very good on defense, so maybe they can bounce back and, if they only win 6 or 7, then the coach will be under a lot of pressure over there, but I think they're going to have a pretty good year.
Well, I looked at the schedule, and Georgia hosts both Texas and Alabama this year.
That's right.
And they host Ole Miss too. Yeah, host Ole Miss too. So that seems like a little advantage for them. All right, let's get into this weekend here in Mississippi. What's your thoughts? Really, just the one game I want to talk about is State and Southern. Does Southern miss? I know Southern Miss won one game last year. Mississippi State won 2, but I think Mississippi State would have to have be the favorite going into the game. But what is your thoughts on that ball game?
Yeah, I mean, State is favored. I think they opened up like a 14-point favorite back in July, and it went down to 11. And I think as of today, they're a 12-point favorite. I would hope that their roster is better than last year. They were not very good on either side of the ball, especially defensively. So they've added 60 to 70 new players this year. They think they're better. Of course, they don't have any way to go but up. Same thing at Southern Miss. They've got 60 to 70 new guys, new coach. Coach Huff has gone in there, and he won the conference championship at Marshall, and I think they've got over 20 players that he took from Marshall to USM, including a very good quarterback and like 3 of his top receivers. So I would think, they're going to be doing the same thing they were doing at Marshall, and they should be pretty hard to handle as far as moving the ball. State, it's Blake Shapen. He's a talented quarterback, but he just can't get through a year without getting hurt. And the whole key for them is to keep him upright. I think they're better along both lines of scrimmage. They were really not good at all last year. They got some very good running backs from what I've read. I would think this is going to be a close game. I would think State probably should win it, but it's going to be pretty close. I would think around maybe a 10-point win for State, but certainly would not be surprised if it went the other way. I've watched Mississippi State. I'm 63, so for 63 years I've seen them lose a lot of ball games.
Man, that's cool. I feel you. I have too, brother.
Well, if you were going to give what would be the best win total for Mississippi State and Southern Miss and Ole Miss, just looking at their schedule, what do you think is the most wins that they could get this year?
Well, I think I was reading. I think Southern Miss, their over and under on their wins is 3.5. I think they'll go way over that, or rather 5.5. I think they could get 6 wins there. State's is only 3.5. They got Georgia, Texas, Tennessee, and Ole Miss all at home. I mean, that's just a brutal stretch right there. Well, I think Georgia may be, I don't know if it's home or away. They got a brutal stretch. It's going to be hard for them. Even to get to 4 wins, you assume they win all 4 non-conference games, and one of those is against Arizona State. And that's going to be a hard chore. I'll say they get 4, but it's going to be very difficult there. I think Ole Miss, I think their total is 8.5. They had the same conference schedule as last year, and they had one of the better schedules to play against. They lost. I think they were probably favored in every game they played last year during the regular season. Ended up losing 3 of those, and I think they'll get to 9. They can get to 9, and they could even go higher than that if things fall right. I know they got to go to Georgia, and that's going to be hard. But still, they lost a lot of good players, especially on defense. But I still think they're going to be hard to handle when it's all over.
The recruiting on the big three there, especially Ole Miss and State. Me following sports as long as I have, I'm concerned about all these dandy dozen players leaving the state. Have we ever had, you go back a long way like I do in the sports writing business. Do you ever remember an exodus like this from the dandy dozen? Usually 5 or 6 or 7 would stay, but now it seems like every one of them's leaving.
Yeah, I don't remember anything like this per se. I know I was reading not only the Dandy Dozen, I think some service said 14 of the top 15 players were going out of state. And out of the top 25, something like 18 out of the top 25 were leaving the state. And that's not good. I know people are putting a lot of their marbles in the transfer portal. I know Ole Miss has, made a living off of that, and that's fine. But, I just don't know if you're going to hit on that all the time. And it's still important to me to maintain a good relationship with your high schools in your state and do your best to keep these players at home. And I don't know what can be done to turn that momentum around when, it's become such a national sport. I mean, you got Oregon and Colorado coming in here getting players, and, that wouldn't have happened 10, 15 years ago at all, 5 years ago maybe, but you got all this money just showing up from out of state. I know Texas. I watched Petal play in the high school jamboree we had down here the other night, and one of their defensive linemen is going to Texas, and he's a good-looking player. I mean, Texas wouldn't have recruited him if he wasn't good, but it's going to be hard to turn that momentum around to kind of keep some of these top players in Mississippi.
Well, listen, do you think realistic that we'll just start with Ole Miss and State since they're in the SEC. Do you think it's realistic that they can keep up money-wise with these Texas and Oklahoma and Texas A&M and LSU and Alabama and Georgia and maybe even Florida? Can they keep up with them? With the fan base and all that?
Yeah, it's pretty hard to do. It's going to be, I don't know if they can or not, honestly. I know, I think Ole Miss is probably able to spend a bit more than State, and, I'm guessing State's down around, Vanderbilt, Kentucky on spending, but I don't know. And that's what, unfortunately, it's coming down to now. It's the more money at your school, it seems like the more games you're going to win. I know there's a lot of money at Ole Miss and State, but my gosh, you look at Texas and Texas A&M, we're kind of dwarfed by them. And I read something the other day, what Texas Tech is spending more than anybody except for Texas. And I don't know how they got into the race, but they're all in. So you would think if Texas Tech could spend as much as we are led to believe they're spending, then maybe Ole Miss and State could jump in there a bit. But it's going to be like it's always been. It's going to be hard for Ole Miss and State to, be up there year in, year out. You just have to maybe kind of hope you get your shot every few years and take advantage of it if you can.
Well, I know the SEC football coaches probably didn't like what was announced this weekend, that they'll be playing a 9th conference game. I'm sure coaches are concerned about that, just because of the wear and tear of the rugged schedule within the conference. Plus they're going to have to play one Power 5 school from another conference, supposedly the Big 12 or the ACC or the Big 10. With that being said, and then just to kind of I don't know how it came about, But then it said the Big Ten announced that they were going to go for a 24 or 28 team playoff. And and what I'm saying is this a game? Because you got 12 now. If they're saying 24, we're going to settle for 16. Because last year I noticed when we went to the 12 playoff games, all the teams that got to bye ended up losing in the first round. Are we going to go to an even number like 16 where you got 8 and 8, nobody gets a bye? What are your thoughts on that? First of all, is it a 9-conference game? Is it just going to hurt some programs like an Ole Miss or State or Kentucky or Vanderbilt where they can't compete at all? Is it going to hurt their bowl chances down the road if they have to have 6 quality wins? What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, 9 games. That's going to be tough, but every other conference does it. So I know that's Commissioner Sankey wanted it, and he's the one that's always pushed for it. Of course, like you say, the coaches I don't think like it because an Ole Miss, State, Kentucky, they need somebody that they can beat, hopefully to get that 6th win every year. It's probably good for overall look for the conference, but it's a tough chore because the league is so deep. And as far as the playoff, you're 24. It just seems like way too many. 24 to 28, and I know it's all about the money and all that, but it's like you got to end at some point, and you're looking at maybe ending college football in February now. That would be stupid. And you've got it ended January the 27th last year, and there was such a long wait for the championship game last year. To me, it just lost a lot of momentum. It was not hyped nearly like I thought it would be. To me, you just keep adding layers and layers to it. But 16 might be the way to go and keep it permanent like that. But we shall see. But 24, 28 seems way too many to me.
Well, all right. I got a couple. You got any questions?
You go ahead. You're doing a good job, Dave.
No. I know.
I just stuck my leg of my glasses in my eye. Okay. I got to do a recovery.
All right. So, I was going to ask you a couple questions. You think Mississippi State made the right call in letting their previous baseball coach go in the middle? I don't say the middle of the season, but toward the end of the season. I think the last 3 weeks. Was that a good call? Doing it in the middle of the season, and what do you think about the new coach that they hired up there for baseball? Because we know baseball may be the most popular sport at Mississippi State right now.
Yeah, I didn't have a problem with it last year. They've done it before. I think the program had kind of hit, he won the national title in 21, but the last year or two, it seemed to hit kind of a brick wall. I know, they were going to make the postseason no matter what it looked like last year. They kind of got some magic there when they let him go. I guess it took some pressure off of the players. But, yeah, the new coach, O'Connor, is very, very highly regarded, and they spent a lot of money to get him. They probably took their football money away to give it to baseball, it looked like. But they got a lot of good players, a lot of guys from Virginia transferred in, plus some other schools, and I got a couple of big recruits that were drafted high but are going to enroll at school, already have enrolled. So, right now I'd say it's a good move. I think they're probably going to be a preseason top 5 team in the spring, but they got to make it Omaha, or it will be people will look at it in a negative fashion. I'm afraid. You got you throwing all your eggs into one basket, so they really need to win a bunch of games and make it to the final 8. That's for sure.
Also, what was I going to ask?
Well, you sitting over here.
I was so absorbed in what he was saying. I had one more question for you, Sean, and I apologize to you because I was really trying to listen to what you were saying. But anyway, we'll just have to say, I know what it was.
There he comes.
How many top 20 junior college teams do we have preseason football?
On the JUCO level, they do a top 15 in the NJCAA, and Northwest is number 3, Colin is number 8, and Gulf Coast is number 10. So those are the only 3 that made it. East Central, East Mississippi, Itawamba, and Holmes all received votes. So, Jones did not even receive votes. So I know Coach Pollard, Coach Latrell Pollard, he probably used that as a little motivation. Jones opens the season against Mississippi Delta and Kahoma, the first 2 games. 2 games normally we should win those, even though it's 2 long road trips. And then week 3 we host Gulf Coast, and that's going to be a telling game right there. That kind of tells you if you're in and out almost. Hate to say it like that, but if you're talking about Gulf Coast in week 3, we go to Colin in week 4. So we're playing the 2 highest ranked South Division teams to start our division play. But I think Jones will have a good team in football. Should be pretty strong on defense. I know we got some big guys that have transferred in. A young man that's coming in from the University of South Alabama. He originally signed with Georgia Tech and went to South Alabama. He's at Jones this year. Bryson Dixon. He's about 6'5", 330, out of McIntosh, Alabama. Got a young man that transferred in from USM, receiver J.Q. Gray, little bitty guy, about 5'8", 160. He's played at Oak Grove. He's a really good player, dynamic player. If we can get the ball to him, I think he can do some things for us. And quarterback, we got Cannon Crowder. He was at PCS a couple of years ago, played some snaps for Jones last year. He's our only experienced guy back at quarterback, and they're very high on our freshman quarterback that we signed out of Amanda Elsie High School in the Delta, and Javarian Glover. He's about 6'4", 200, and very, very gifted, talented athlete. So, I think Jones, get off to a good start, get these first 2, and then it's going to be a big game on September 11 when Jones hosts Gulf Coast. That will tell the tale on a lot of things right there.
Listen, Sean, Mrs. Marshall, I told you I'd show up at some time and let us know we were about out of time, and that's where we are. We want to thank you for taking time out of your schedule to be with us and what you bring to the table. Appreciate it. We're going to ask you to hold on. Yes, sir. Ask you to hold on just a second. We're going to take a break here from a sponsor, and Dale and I'll be back tonight with tonight's final segment right after this commercial break.
Phillips Building Supply in Laurel, your hometown building supply store since 1954. We are locally owned and pride ourselves on helping our customers find exactly what they need. From foundations to roofs to doors and windows, Phillips has it. For tools, hardware, lumber, and plywood, visit Phillips Building Supply. Welcome back, everyone, to the Brouhaha final segment. It's always, we really enjoy Sean. He can really lay it down, can't he?
He knows what he's talking about, doesn't he?
He does. I was looking for something. I was going to ask you. We're going to kind of do a little trivia deal here in our last segment like we did last week. I don't know if you remember that or not. But I'm going to ask you, I want you to listen. Put all that stuff down you're working on. I need your attention here.
That's for you. That's for you later. That's for you later.
Now, the question is, the most NFL passing touchdowns by a college. Do you understand what that question is? What college has produced quarterbacks that have thrown the most touchdowns in the NFL? Which colleges have the most touchdown passes?
All right, well, give me one hint. Is it an SEC school?
Well, there may be an SEC school in it, but
you said the top.
I'm top at the top. Got the top 10. Just see if you can pick one out of the top 10. If you get one out of the top 10, I think you'll be doing good.
All right, I would go with Florida and
just one.
Florida,
just one.
What? But BYU then?
Okay. Well, you didn't get either one of them. I'm going to tell you who's number 1. Purdue. Purdue's thrown more touchdown passes than any college in the history of the NFL. Well, Drew Brees probably threw they got 1,401. Drew Brees threw 1,400.
Bob Greasy played there.
Oh, there you go. Those 2 guys right there will carry you a long way. Who else was a good quarterback from Purdue? I know those 2. I can't think of another one. There was another one. Nah, I don't know. But anyway, you know who's in number 2? Cal. Did Joe Cal play at Cal? Remember him from the Minnesota Vikings, number 11?
He coached there too.
Did he? He sure did. I forgot about that. Number 3, Michigan. the Wolverines.
Lord, they've been around for 500 years.
I'm going to round them out. Southern Cal, Stanford, Notre Dame, Oregon, Washington, North Carolina State, and we finally get an SEC team in last place down there. The University of Alabama. That's right.
Well, Lord, they ran the wishbone for 47 years.
While all these other guys were airing it out all over the place, Alabama was grinding on the bone, son. Let it rip, Tater Chip.
How about that?
Dale, it saddens me to say, but I believe we've about to come to the time where it's, we're about out of time. We want to thank Sean for being with us tonight. That was a treat. You do a good job lining up these guests, Dale, and then talking to them. Man, you can line them up and you can talk to them too. That's special. But anyway, we appreciate that. We want to invite you to listen to us on our, on our YouTube channel at the Brouhaha Facebook page, the Brouhaha. Check us out. But now it's time to say goodbye, Dale.
Goodbye, Dale.
Goodbye, folks.
You've been listening to the Brouhaha with Del McKee and Marshall Wood. Heard Tuesday evening, 6 p.m. on WABO. For more of the Brouhaha, follow us during the week on Facebook and WABO.